it's Rob from Property Investments UK. In today's video, we're going to be looking at 5 things that your joint venture partner is probably going to be expecting from you and that you must deliver. Okay, so the first thing is honesty. So you've got to be very upfront and honest with your joint venture partner. This isn't just about somebody bringing money or property deals to the table. It's much more important than that. It's an ongoing relationship. And you've got to be honest about what your experience and current situation is. So for example, if you're maybe looking at becoming a property sourcer and find property deals for investor clients, then you don't want to be going to those clients and saying, oh, I've got this kind of wealth of experience and I've done these deals in the past. If you've never been doing anything in property before, you've got to be honest with them. So if that is your situation, if you've not got any current experience in property at the moment, then that's okay for some clients. Some people are okay with that because they will look for other qualities. Maybe you're very tenacious and you've got an idea of exactly what you want to achieve and you're going to go out and do plenty of viewings and put plenty of offers in on properties, and that's exactly the type of partner they want. Or maybe you're in a situation where you have some very good contacts that you can leverage and you can work with. So you might have some good relationships with letting agents or refurbishment teams or mortgage brokers that they don't currently have. So there's still lots of value that you can bring to the table. It might not be because you've got 10 years experience in property, or it might not be because you've done 50 developments in the past. It's important about just being honest and open about where you're currently at, and then you can see who's the right fit for both you and the other party when it comes to doing those joint ventures. Number 2, I'd say it's very important to have a clear plan of action in mind. And this is where the joint venture agreement kind of comes into place, because it outlines exactly what you and the other party are going to be looking at doing, but trying to understand exactly from day one what you want to achieve, because that's going to help you find a client that's the right fit for that type of stuff. So for example, the type of joint ventures that we do currently in-house with clients primarily are flip projects. So it wouldn't work for us if I started to have a relationship or conversation with a client and said, okay, well, they want maybe to build a portfolio and do joint ventures that way. If that's not what we're currently looking to achieve, then it doesn't really help to start off a process or a deal in that relationship, because we've got completely different ambitions and aims of what we want to do with those projects and properties. So it's important to have a clear idea in your mind of what you want to achieve and a clear idea of the investors or the other party's mind of what they're looking to achieve, and make sure there's a fit. But having a clear plan of action, having a JV agreement is going to help that so much better. Okay, the third thing is having aligned goals as well. And this is principles in terms of what you're looking to achieve and what they're looking to achieve. And also what your aims and ambitions are. Like if you want to go very high end in your refurbishments, for example, and do flip projects, but your joint venture client wants to have the opposite type of property deal or the opposite type of finish, then there's a mismatch there. So you need to have aligned aims, you need to have aligned ambitions, ideas of what you both want to achieve, and also ideally morals, ethics, all of that stuff that combines to make a very strong, good relationship going forward as a joint venture. Number 4, I'd say, is looking at opposing skill sets. So what you want with the joint venture is not where you have 2 individuals, so it's 1 on 1 equals 2. You want really 1 on 1 to equal 3 or more. So it's going to achieve much better returns in the long run. Now that might be opposing skill sets in terms of somebody's very good at finding deals and somebody's very good at reselling them, or very good at finding the tenants, or has the funds or the finance to invest in those projects. Just something that where those kind of opposing skill sets can really mix and merge to create something that's very valuable, especially. But rather than trying to go into a relationship maybe where you do a joint venture where you're both offering the same things, because then it starts to create some form of conflict. You can't kind of divide tasks efficiently, and you start to then get a little bit frustrated over the progress sometimes because you're not achieving what you'd originally aimed for, because maybe one party's doing much more than the other, and that's very often the case when you've got similar skill sets. So it's great to have opposing skill sets when it comes to joint ventures. And finally, the 5th one is open communications at all times. So going back to the honesty side of things, you've got to remain open and honest with your clients and your joint venture partners. If you're in a situation where a project is going great fantastic, everyone's happy, it's making money. But if something changes, if something that happens in the project, you've got to be open with them, you've got to be honest, you've got to keep that line of communication always available so that you can figure out the best way forward. So we had a project recently that we were doing with a joint venture client. There was a bit of an issue on the refurb where the wall at the back of the property, after we'd finished the project, after it had gone on the market for sale, there was a bit of an issue with the structure of the rear wall, not the main building, but like the fence effectively at the back of the yard. That just needed fixing. But if that wasn't a conversation that we'd kind of had with the joint venture partner, and then we'd had just viewings that went round to the property and we weren't getting any feedback, we weren't getting any sales or any interest on the property, simply because we thought, oh, we've done the refurb now, we don't need to kind of consider that. You then start to run into difficulties. You've just got to be honest. So we had a conversation with them, said, look, this needs now fixing after the refurb, so we can get it sorted. The costs of this, it's going to take this time frame. This is the company that's going to do it. This is when it will be ready by, all that kind of stuff, so that you can go to them with a fully fleshed out idea, but you've got to keep that line of communication open. So just as a very quick kind of roundup, those 5 kind of key things that are going to help you with your joint venture contracts to make them effectively work much better. So that's going to be honesty, it's going to be making sure you have the line of communications open, making sure you have opposing skill sets so you're not kind of treading on each other's kind of feet in that respect, and you've got other things to kind of bring to the table. And then finally, a clear plan of action and aligned goals. So those 5 combined elements are going to help you to create and structure much more successful joint venture deals. So hopefully that's been helpful for you and give you a bit of an insight in terms of your next joint venture project. Thank you for watching this video. If you like this content and you'd like to join our free online property training course, we've got a link for it on this page. And in there we cover a range of different property strategies to help you get started, either building a long-term property portfolio or creating cash flowing property business. We also look at ways to increase your return on investment with any of the property you're maybe considering. And we also have a couple of cheat sheets and downloadable documents in there as well. Simply click on the link to join the free training course today.